It's something like that and go, why the bloody hell would a fish eat that? And to me it resembles like an old wire coat hanger crossed with my Nan's earrings, but you know, it's just amazing really. You look at it and think, why do they want to catch a cod on surface? You know, you see them in the boats, so they're just slowly rolling, you know, some of them are just looking around, and all of a sudden you get this serenity and peaceful tranquility, and there's just a massive eruption in the water, and some absolute giant from the depths comes up and smashes a lure like this. And
oh yeah, fish on, baby.
G'day folks, and welcome back to another exciting episode of Fish On. In this video I'm going cod fishing for the first time, and I just want to run through all the gear. I want to make this into a bit of a series where I go from day one, the gear, learning to use a bait caster because I've never used one before, a real progression from the gear, how to use the gear, up to catching my first fish, and then hopefully catching a fish of a lifetime. So I'm really excited. I've been thinking about this for a while. I've never actually been, I went cod fishing once, wasn't a great success for me, and I really want to go out there and catch one of Australia's iconic freshwater species. It's the biggest freshwater species in the country. It's a ferocious predator. It's exciting. I've been watching YouTube videos and it gets my heart rate going, and I'm not even catching them yet. So I really want to do it. I've got a perfect boat for it, and I love lure fishing, so why not try and catch one of the biggest fish that swims in our freshwater. Right, so going over the gear. So I went to Cranbourne in Tackle World. I went to Tackle World in Cranbourne, and I spoke to a bloke called Austin who put me onto some gear. I let him know that I wanted fairly cheap stuff, but not cheap and nasty stuff. That stuff's gonna get the job done and that I can use for years to come. And he put me onto a rod, a couple of reels, a net, and a few other lures and bits and pieces that we need along the way. So I'm gonna go through that with you now. That's what's gonna be part one. And then hopefully this week, I'm planning a trip on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday to a river. Hopefully I'll talk you through some of what I'm going to be doing and the mistakes I'm going to be making and things like that. So this video is going to be a massive learning process for me, and hopefully if anyone else is new to cod fishing, we can go through the mistakes that I've made and things that I did right, and hopefully if I catch a fish, you know, just learning. And I think moon phases and barometer plays a big part in cod fishing. So going to try and learn all that, and I'm excited, so I hope you are. So let's get into the gear. First up, as you know, I do a lot of bream fishing, so I've got a net about this big. Cod can grow, I've seen them on YouTube, to 1.3 meters on YouTube. They can grow bigger, so it's not uncommon to get fish 70 centimeters to a meter, so you need a big net to land them. So I think that might be big enough. Extendable handle, so that's going to get the job done. I'll be able to squeeze a meter in there. It's rubber, so it's really going to help with the fish care. I love catch and release. Catch and release for me on bream, flathead, everything that I do is catch and release, so I really like taking care of fish, so that's going to help with that rubber mesh, and the net's going to be big enough. Right, so the first outfit, I had this rod about 6 years ago. I was going to go yellow belly and cod fishing, and then it didn't really happen. I went once for about half a day and didn't do any good. Didn't really know what I was doing, didn't even really think I wanted to do that kind of fishing. But I bought a rod. So this is a Shakespeare Predator. It's an ugly stick, and it's 4 to 8 kilo, and it's a fairly cheap rod, but it's going to do as a second rod, or if yellow belly you're going, or very small cod, you know, that 40 to 60 centimeter range, you should handle it fairly easy. What I did do though is upgrade the reel. So I bought a Curado HG. This is the 201. It's a left-handed version. So I'm right-handed, but I've always used my dominant hand to do all the rod work and the setting the hook and the casting, and I just wind the wheel with my left hand. I found it very perplexing that a lot of right-handed people in Australia use their left hand a lot and wind with the right hand, but then I see them swapping over and casting with the right hand and then swapping over. I just never really got that, to be honest. So I use this kind of reel, and this, I think this was about $225, something like that. So not top of the line, but a reel that's going to get the job done. They spool that up at the shop with, this is 20 pounds fins braid, and then I put on a 30 pound Black Magic 100% fluorocarbon leader, and on there, because I've been practicing in the garden, there's a Mollix, which is a weedless frog lure. So I've been using that target practice in the garden, figuring out my bait caster so it doesn't get snagged up on anything. But that's the kind of lures I'm going to be throwing with this rod. Small, fairly light, hoping that not a massive cod picks it up. Alright, so the second outfit. So this is one from Tackle World in Cranbourne again. A very popular rod, especially for entry level, and this is the Shimano Cod Raider. So these are 6 to 12 kilo, and they've got a cast rate of 15 to 40 gram lure range there. So entry level, I've used Raider rods in the brim range for a couple of years when I first started. I've upgraded them lately, but they did the job. Perfect rods, never had any dramas, so no hesitation when he recommended a Raider that I'll pick one of those up. The reel, that's another Serato, the 201 left-handed version. That's the K series. So this is a very nice reel. They're smooth. This one's a little bit more expensive. I think I paid 300, around 300. No, 250. He gave me a special deal on that one as well. So Serato, that's a car. A Curado K series reel, and that's the 200 size. So on there, they once again spooled it up, but this time I went for a 30 pound braid, and then I tied on a 50 pound leader. So this rod will throw fairly decent sized lures, not your massive swim baits, but your bigger hard bodies, your bigger surface lures, and this should be able to handle a decent sized cod with ease. So really looking forward to giving that one a whirl. So that's my second outfit. So leader choice, I didn't want to break the budget and buy all different kinds of poundage, so I bought a 15. That's a Strike Pro. So that's for very small, like yellow belly. If the yellow belly are on, I'll probably downsize leader and small cod. And I also went for a Black Magic 30 pound leader as well, as a bit of an all-rounder. And that's 100% fluorocarbon as well. Okay, so lure choice. So I didn't have a massive budget. I had some already from years ago when we're going to go cod fishing. So I'll go through some surface lures first. So lure selection, what I chose, I did a bit of research, and I really want to catch a cod on surface. Who wouldn't want to catch a cod on surface? You know, you see them in the boat, so they're just slowly rolling, you know, some of them are just looking around, and all of a sudden you get this serenity and peaceful tranquility, and there's just a massive eruption in the water, and some absolute giant from the depths comes up and smashes a lure like this, and then all hell breaks loose for, you know, 5-10 minutes, and it's just, yeah, I just can't even explain how I would feel if that happened. So it's going to be awesome. So this is a tailor-made. That's a cod wobbler, sorry, cod whopper. So it's tailor-made lure there. So that's makes a right racket on the surface. It makes us like a bit of a paddling, flip-flapping motion. The next one is very similar. This is the Atomic Hards Slapper. So I believe these are very much like the Jackal Pompadour. So those metal wings there slap the surface, so it can mimic like a baby parrot that's fallen on the water, or a big bug or something like that. So hopefully that's going to be good as well. Atomic, well-known brand, good brand. I've used the brim gear, always quality stuff. So that was awesome. I think that was about $30. So you've seen a couple of frogs that were on the rods there are weedless, so you can throw those over weed beds and lily pads, and very, very tight above timber, things like that, just you're not going to get snagged up. The other one I've got for small cod is, it's a Savage Gear 3D rad. So you get a replaceable tail, it's a rubber tail, and a joint in the midsection with a single treble on the bottom. I've used this in the dam. I've got a little dam and I've been practicing casting and testing out these lures. It looks amazing, like very, very lifelike. So onto some diving hard body lures. Probably one of the most successful and well-known lures. I even know about these for cod, and I've never cod fished. Stump jumpers. So that's the size 2, it's like a medium size. That's the bigger version, the size 1, for bigger systems, bigger cod. But you know, smaller 50, 60 centimetre cod, 40 centimetre cod will take those, no worries. So I'm here and they'll smash anything. I've got a few different colours of those. A Storm Arashi in a bit of a redfin pattern. So it's another deep diver, a little bit smaller profile. I saw these on a Paul Wesling iFish show. They were fishing the Gambie and he did well, and I think his mate caught a 80 something centimetre cod on it. Very thin bib at the front, so hopefully they'll dive down really quick, so targeting the edges and dragging it down the timber really quick. You know, that should work a treat in a redfin pattern, so match the hatch, so to speak. And then just another, it's a bit of a frog, smaller diving lure. So if you're throwing big stuff, what I would do is, if they're not biting, I'd probably downsize in case there's smaller cod or yellow belly, something like that, or the bigger cod might not be as hungry that day, but they might take a smaller lure. So one of the most common cod, yellow belly lure, is the humble spinnerbait. These are Savage Gear, I think they're 1/2 ounce. That's got a Colorado on the back and a willow blade on the front, and a nice dark colour. I've got these in a few different colours, I'm not going to bore you with everything with them. I've got a black and red 1/2 ounce Bassman spinnerbait there with a couple of Colorado blades, and a bit bigger with a soft plastic trailer and a stinger hook with the quad, the 4 Colorado blades at the front. That's another Bassman. 1/2 ounce was what I was recommended in store. So yeah, it's pretty amazing. Like, I look at something like that and go, why the bloody hell would a fish eat that? And to me it resembles like an old wire coat hanger crossed with my Nan's earrings, but you know, that's just amazing really. You look at it and think, why the hell would a fish eat that? But I guess what I'm thinking it is they're kind of very territorial. You know, when they own they're in a stump, a big snag, you know, big cod, it's their snag and nothing else is gonna come in and get it. And if something like this is flying through past the snag, you know, and you keep casting and casting and casting, eventually, like if a bloke kept coming into my bedroom bashing a cymbal, you know, and he did it 10, 15 times, eventually I'm going to get pissed off with him and I'll probably kick him out the window. So that's what the cod's going to be doing, a reaction bite, so they say. So we'll give that a go, the old coat hanger earrings. Finally, something else that looks like an alien. A couple of these Bassman, I like chatterbaits, but they're called something else. I don't know what they're called. Yeah, so they've got a big plastic. It's like, what's that, 6-7 inch plastic, stinger hook, main hook with a chatterbait and a skirt on the front. So once again, right racket, beat from the tail, noise racket from the front, and hopefully I think that's for a reaction bite as well. That would drive me nuts if you kept coming through my house. So that. Now I just bought I just bought this little thing as well. It's a IGA Jig Chatter 1/2 ounce, so very natural colour and a bit smaller profile. So I think that would work for yellows and cod. So that's a chatterbait, you know, with a bit of that skirted jig. Might whack a plastic on the back of that, or maybe not. Alright, so that's pretty much what I'm going to be starting with. I've got the vessel. That's the Tabs Bull Shark in the background. That's got a massive platform on the back. I've got the Garmin EcoMap 95 SV on the, it's got side scan, down scan. So what I'm going to be doing with the cod is pretty much, I've never targeted cod, as I said. I'm probably going to treat it like an estuary perch kind of situation, and I've done a bit of research on YouTube, and I've asked a few pages and people at the tackle shop as well that have been bending over backwards to give me information. So I appreciate all that, and I'm probably going to do it like estuary perch. So when I've estuary perch, you go up river, you're casting, you're fishing early morning, first light, you know, to twilight hours, targeting snags, heavy timber, heavy weed beds, any kind of massive structure that you can find, big logs, big laydowns. I'm going to be using my side scan, scanning the bank of the river. Hopefully I can see the fish on the sounder, and then I'm going to drive them nuts with 1,000 casts, and that's pretty much what I would do. I think I'm going to try surface fishing first, low light, and then probably the first hour and a half, 2 hours do surface fishing, and then I'll probably chuck something on like a deep diver or a spinnerbait, small profile, just to try and get the first cod on the boat. If I get one, you won't see anyone happier than me on that day, I'll tell you. So that's pretty much it. That's how I'm going to go about it. I've picked a day next week, so it's raining at the moment outside, so the barometer's been really low. So Monday it's picking up, and then Tuesday it's picking up again. So by Wednesday, Thursday, we're getting to that 10, 20 range, and by the end of Thursday I think it's going to be 10, 27-ish, 10:30. So we've got that steadily rising barometer, and then a couple of days it's rising quite rapidly. So from my research, most native fish like a high barometer or a rising barometer. So that's what I'm going to try, and I'm going to cast and cast and cast. I'm going to fish for 2 days, and hopefully I can land my cod. If not, I'll tell you, I'll still do the video of the trip and what I'm doing and what I did wrong and what I think I need to work on, and probably me crying a little bit. And yeah, and then hopefully, please follow this, and please subscribe and hit the bell, because I want a heap of information when I'm doing the wrong thing and what people would do different. And let's get a bit of a chat forum going on the YouTube comments of help each other out and what helped me out on what I can be doing next time and what I should have done instead of what I'm actually doing. So hit the follow, hit the subscribe, and yeah, follow me on my cod journey. Alright, that's part one, the gear. And then what I'm going to do is I'll practice a bit of casting now, and I did some the other day that I actually filmed, and I'm going to go over that, and I'll yeah, probably put a bit of me working out the bait caster, because I've never used the bait caster. So me trying to figure out the bait caster, and having a few casts into a bin and maybe a few casts at the dam as well. So thanks for watching, and I will see you hopefully the next video that comes out. I would have caught a cod, but I'm definitely not going to be holding my breath. So thanks for watching again, and tight lines if you're getting out, and I'll see you on the next one.